JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today's the 9th of March 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, also just before we jump in, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab on the top there. Right, now then, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the Dow Jones. The indices opened, the US equities opened heavily in the red. At one point the trading was halted as Dow Jones reached a 7% drop on the opening, and yep, we had a 15-minute hold up, and now we can see that the trading is resumed, and the price has managed to climb back here from these lows, and the lows that it managed to reach were here. Let me just put this one on the chart, and that's 23,818 territory, roughly around there. So you can see that the price is now trying to claw back here, and the big question here is, can this actually move back above the 24,680 zone, which is the lowest point of June 2019? So in a way, we're going to keep a close eye on this one, because if it somehow manages to get back above it and stays above it, well, to be honest, there could be a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction here to the upside. But again, for now, we cannot really talk about that yet. It's all eyes are on the some of these levels. So in a way, how you could keep an eye on this one is, like I said, keep your eyes on this 24,680 zone, because that's the lowest point of June, and previously it acted as a good area of support. Now let's see if it can do the same thing, and if we can see the market close here above that level. If we do, then yes, we will kind of consider a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction here back to the upside. If it stays below this, then of course there's more chances for this one. There are more chances for this one to drift lower. The only problem here right now is, of course, this level, this low that we managed to reach today, around the 23,818, because ideally we would like to see a drop below this level now in order to consider further declines, because this way the index would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. And until all this territory here would be a little bit of a tricky one to play. Quick mentioning of FTSE 100. I talked about this one this morning, and we managed to reach this level here, the 5,900 zone. And just to remind you what that level was here, and let me just go back into history here a little bit, guys. Sorry for the lag, but yep, it's loading up. There we go. So this 5,900 level is the low of the 15th of June. Is that 15th of June, or more of 16th of June 2016? There we go. So you can see that the index managed to reach that level. I talked about this level this morning, and it held perfectly. It didn't quite go all the way here lower towards the 5,788 zone, which is basically the lowest point of June 2016, and now we're seeing a bit of a correction here to the upside. The price is traveling back above the above this 6,053 territory. I talked about this one this morning, and that's basically the one of the lows here that we saw in May 2016. So or in other words, near the lowest point of May 2016. So let's keep an eye on this one. If we see a nice good close above this area, then well, there could be a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction to the upside. For now, you can see that this scenario is playing out nicely so far. The retracement back to the 6,053 territory. If we see the rate, or should I say, if we see the price staying below it, then yep, we could see another round of selling. But don't get me wrong, I mean, of course, everybody is looking for that possibility maybe to go long on this one, at least go for a bit of recovery. But at the moment, it's a little bit tricky here, guys. So that's why I wait for a confirmation and then kind of act on it. For now, it's more to the downside, but as I said, let's see how it plays out near these levels. Brent oil, of course, the cause, one of the causes of all the negativity in the market. And of course, we saw a nice slide here, and this is what I talked about this morning, where I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on some of these levels. And if we get a push back above the 36.1415 zone, then there is a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction here, to a larger correction to the upside. For now, don't get me wrong, this move higher could be a temporary one, because still the negativity is all in the air. I mean, everybody is increasing their supplies right now. So Saudi Arabia, Russia, everybody, or not everybody, but both of those are increasing their oil production. So that's why, guys, even though we are seeing this uprise here, let's be very careful and take it with a pinch of salt, and let's see how it plays around near this 36.14 zone. In a way, for us to get comfortable with lower levels, ideally we would like to see a drop below this today's low near the 31.30, because a drop below this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could start targeting the lowest point of January of 2016, guys. So keep your eyes on that one. USDCHF. USDCHF also took a major dive, and looking at this picture here, you can see that we've managed to travel to the low of, and let me just put this one on the chart very quickly, to the low of February 2018, guys. So so the lowest point of February, we managed to test that, and that's roughly around the 0.9187 mark, from which you can see the pair rebounded back to the upside. It is currently rebounding. The big question here is where it will end today's trading day. Of course, for now, let me just clear this chart a little bit. Let me just do some lines here from the beginning. And so basically, this is the more important level that we're keeping a close eye on, the lowest point of February 2018. You can see we're seeing a bit of a retracement here. Don't get me wrong, we are quite overstretched here to the downside. So in a way, this is seen already, even on the daily chart. This is a daily chart, by the way. You can see that how sharply we have traveled lower. At some point, we will get a bit of a correction, but for now we don't have any confirmation of that yet. So we're being very careful, because although we had this nice retracement right now to the upside, still let's see how this day ends, and it may drop lower again. So maybe not all the way towards the 0.9187, but it may drop a little bit lower again. So keep your eyes on that one. In case this suddenly starts reversing back to the upside, of course, keep your eyes on today's high. That's probably the first level. For now, that's the level to watch. So the high of today is around the 0.9380. A nice good push above this could in a way lead towards some higher levels, where we could then aim for a bit of a larger correction, but only up until this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 29th of November, or in other words, the highest point of November. So for now, guys, it's more bearish than bullish, but let's see how this is going to play out. If Of course, with the downside, for us to get comfortable with lower levels, to be honest, ideally, at this point in time, we would prefer to see a drop below the 0.9187 and only then target the downside, because we are quite already extended to the downside. We are overstretched, oversold, and that's why if we get a drop below this level here, the 0.9187, this would confirm a forthcoming lower low and could open the path towards lower levels. Up until here, up until this area, then we're not really touching this one, and we're keeping an eye and trying to maybe find a potential, maybe a reversal point here from where it could go for a bit of a correction to the upside. GBPNZD. So look at this beautiful chart, and basically what's important here is, and I've looked at this pair last week, but what's the most important here is the fact that this level here, the highest point of October 2019, continues to hold. Look at this, we get these overshoots, but we don't get a close above it. So, and even today we got in a strong move higher. Look at this explosion here to the upside, and where the pair managed to reach the area around the 2.18 mark, maybe just slightly above that. But look at this reversal, look at this sharp move back down here, and the rate is now back below the 2.0559 territory here, which is the high of the of October 2019. So you can see we are struggling here. We can see this crazy move, I would say. So the big question here is now, can this area continue to hold? If it can, well, we're probably looking for a bit of correction here to the downside. But if it struggles to do so, then, well, I mean, if we get another push higher and we get a nice good push above the February high, which is around the 2.0671 zone, then yes, we will aim for the upside again. But for now, there is a bit of hope here for the sellers, but we need to see how this is going to end, because if this daily candle stays below the 2.0559 territory, then yep, we could aim for lower levels. EURRUB. Now, something that you probably don't look at very often, but let me just quickly remove all the lines here, and also you can see that this explosion, of course, all this is related to oil, and the fall in oil, and yep, you can see how sharply it accelerated in one day here, going from around 77 mark here, and now it's trading around 84 zone. So basically it also managed to overcome some of these key resistance levels, like for example the highest point of January 2019, then it overcame the highest point of September 2018, and kind of continue to travel further north. Now, if we go back into more history here, you can see that this is where it kind of is hanging around right now, near the it's hanging around near the highs, the levels here of February 2016. So basically that's coming in line with the fall that we saw, the slide in oil in 2016 as well. So basically, as you can see, this is what I was talking about, not this chart, but this chart here. So basically in 2016, when we had this drop in oil as well, that's what happened with the ruble, the Russian ruble. It also devalued and fell to these lows, or in this situation, went to these highs on the euro-ruble pair. And for now, guys, of course, all eyes are on this level here, on the highest point of 2018, near the 81.94 zone. If we see the rate falling back below this, then maybe there's a chance for the sellers to step in and drive this one back to the downside, go for a bit of a correction. But if it doesn't, if it stays here above this, then, well, in a way, what we're looking here for is maybe actually targeting these highs, the highs of February 2016, around the 91.49 zone. or even going further towards the highest point of January 2016, and that's roughly around, let me just put this one on the chart, and that's roughly around the 93.69 zone. But again, like I said, guys, for now all eyes are on this 81.94 zone. If we stay above it, then yep, we'll continue targeting the upside. If we close below this, then we will consider this level here as an important one, the 80.50 territory, which is the highest point of January 2019. And then yes, if we see a drop below this, then we could aim for a deeper correction to the downside. For now, everything's kind of looking more positive here for the euro against the Russian ruble. Now in the Euro-USD pair here, so after we managed to climb all the way here towards the 1.1496 territory, basically falling shy of just a few points from a few pips from reaching the psychological 1.15 mark, you can see that the pair has drifted a little bit lower. The big question here is, will it stay below the 1.1448 zone today? Because that's the high of the 20th of March, or in other words, that's the highest point of March 2019. So if we see the rate staying below this, then, well, to be honest, we could be aiming here for a bit of a correction here to the downside, where we will then target the 1.1355, which is the highest point of last week. And if the rate remains above this, then yep, this could be a nice plateau for the bulls to step in and drive this one to the upside again. But if it starts falling below the 1.1355, well, we could then aim for a bit of a deeper correction here to the downside. But again, for now, let's not over speculate on this too much. Let's see if it actually can stay above the 1.1355. If it can, then yes, we will continue targeting the upside. But if it doesn't, then, well, I mean, maybe a bit of a correction here could be possible. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading evening if you're still trading. Yep, stay safe, guys. The market is very interesting right now, so be very careful. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.